Hey everybody, Rob Maurer here. Happy Friday. Today should be a pretty quick one, not a whole lot of news, but we actually do have a decent amount of updates on the Cybertruck. Pretty exciting ones, I would say, as we get closer to hopeful start of production relatively soon. So exciting to see that, and we'll have a few other items as well. One quick update before we get into everything. If you did receive an email from me today about updating my contact information, that did actually come from me. You never be too careful with that stuff. That was sent out at 3:30 Central Time today, so just want to confirm that is indeed for me. All right, so looking at the stock here, Tesla on the day today down 3%, not the best way to close the week, closing at $256.60. So we did actually end up slightly down for the week after quite the run there for the last few weeks. The NASDAQ today also down about 1%. This was despite Ron Barron sharing some bullish thoughts on Tesla on CNBC this morning. Whenever he does go on, he tends to speak up Tesla, which is nice. Obviously a limited impact today, as he really reiterated a lot of things that he has said in the past. So no surprise, but he did say that he thinks Tesla will hit $500 a share in 2025, reiterated a long-term price target of $1,500 in 2030, and then continued to say that they have really no intentions to sell. They've talked about the gains that they've made on Tesla so far, and things that we've heard from Barron before. Some interesting macro comments as well. So maybe worth checking out if you can find that interview from CNBC. But today, Cybertruck. So we've got an update from Joe Tagmeyer, who obviously does a lot of drone flyovers at Giga Texas. I think he was out there late at night or early this morning. And Tesla had previously been covering the casting area from visibility from the drone shots, but they recently took that down for whatever reason. So some opportunities here for Joe to get a little bit of a look inside that area. And we can see casting machines set up. So the 9,000 ton press and also the other 9,000 ton press. There are two of them here. So there had been some speculation that there were two being installed. And from the looks of this, that is the case. It's a little bit difficult to make out, obviously, through the window here, but definitely seems like two presses installed there for presumably a Cybertruck. Now, in addition to a little bit more visibility from the outside, there are some leaks happening from the inside here. So Gregor Truck on the Cybertruck Owners Club forum posting a couple of photos, a little short video here. Let's see if we can play that, showing a Cybertruck frame on the production line. Obviously nothing happening at the moment when this video is being taken, but there's the frame right there, or the body, and it's pretty exciting to see. I mean, we just talked about seeing a couple of Cybertrucks on a delivery truck or a transport trailer, and how that was exciting to see, that we're going to see a lot of those pretty soon. And we're going to hopefully be seeing a lot of these pretty soon as well. I would be surprised if in the Q2 update letter, we don't have a nice high definition shot of pretty much exactly this, with Tesla talking about the first bodies being produced there for Cybertruck. So really cool to see that. Here's some other parts and pieces of the Cybertruck that were visible, or I guess that were posted, and then this probably recycling bin or something like that, scrap bin for Cybertruck parts. So pretty exciting progress here on the Cybertruck. I think it's starting to get real finally, and Tesla has also updated the reservation page. Not any major changes, but we can see here they have added some support, documentation for the order agreement, the reservation agreement, and also trade-in estimates for people to make ahead of presumably the Cybertruck launch. So we're starting to see a lot of progress, and again, it's starting to feel pretty real, as hopefully this could be as early as next quarter. Now the other thing, a little bit less related to production, but Temperament on Twitter here, noting that Tesla just published an application last week, or I guess yesterday, on the tailgate for the Cybertruck, and it looks like this is going to be powered such that it could be opened or closed with a wireless key fob or a smartphone, which should make things really easy to use from sort of an accessibility perspective, and just kind of a nice feature to have. So hopefully we'll see that on the production vehicle, but nice to see some of the features and things that Tesla's working on and has in mind as nice little benefits on the vehicle. So that kind of wraps up the Cybertruck stuff pretty quick. Then we do have a couple of updates here. The first from Berlinergy, noting that Tesla has, it looks like, gone through with this Wiferian acquisition just based on some filings out of Germany. The company is now named Tesla Engineering Germany, which Tesla also has, other, I don't know if that's the acquisition that's blanking me right now. Groman Engineering. I think that is also the name of that. I don't want to get that wrong, but I think that's the case. So it does look like this acquisition has gone through as had been previously reported. So it'll be interesting again to see what Tesla does with Wiferion. Again, focused a little bit more on sort of factory type of EVs, and then obviously can connect that to Optimus and things like that. And we'll see if there's any vehicle, car type of stuff that Tesla integrates from Wiferion. Then we do have a couple of other charging updates on this one related to NACS. So as we had talked about when Texas had stated that they were going to be making NACS a requirement for the state's distribution of federal funding for charging infrastructure, the Reuters report at that time had indicated that there was another state that was considering those plans as well. And that state appears to be Washington, with Reuters today reporting on comments from a Washington, I believe, DOT official, saying that they are also planning to require at least some NACS plugs for, the state's distribution of those federal funds for infrastructure. So they said that it hasn't necessarily been tested and certified for other auto manufacturers, so we want to make sure it's going to work, but we are planning to require NACS at our state-funded and federally funded sites in the future. So basically, if everything works with NACS with other vehicles, they plan to make this a requirement. They didn't say exactly what the requirements would be. Right now, for funding, it looks like they need to have at least 4 CCS chargers, and it sounds like they were considering, at least 2 and maybe 4 NACS plugs being required for eligibility for those funds. So, sort of on this topic as well, there was a post on Reddit on the Tesla Motors subforum, or subreddit, I guess. What we're seeing here is a charging pedestal from a ChargePoint, and it looks like, as we can kind of see there, it's a little bit small, but we'll zoom in. You can see Tesla NACS connector there on this ChargePoint, dual connector with CCS. So it could be a little bit of a glimpse on, a prototype that they're working on or something like that, but probably gives us a good idea of what this might eventually look like from a ChargePoint perspective, if this is sort of their design for a combination charger going forward. So kind of interesting to see that. And then lastly, just kind of wrap things up today, take a quick look at the calendar for next week. We'll have a couple more opportunities to hear from JPOW, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, both on Wednesday and Thursday if we didn't get enough the last couple of weeks. And then we will also have the PCE, Personal Consumption Expenditures report, on Friday. So that'll be a measure of inflation that is heavily monitored by the Fed. And then lastly, we'll see. Big photo here, but more focused on the tech. So Dana White said he talked to both Elon and Mark Zuckerberg, and they're both dead serious about this fight. We haven't talked about it, but I'm sure everyone's heard about it at this point. Sounds like they may be doing some sort of MMA match with each other. It's always difficult to tell if it's a joke or not with Elon, but he seems pretty serious about it, so I guess we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Not that it would be next week, but will probably continue to be a story into next week. All right, that'll wrap it up for today then. As always, thank you for listening. Make sure you're subscribed and signed up for notifications. You can also find me on Twitter at Tesla Podcast. And we'll see you on Monday for the June 26th episode of Tesla Daily. Thank you.